Hello and welcome to season 2 of the Careers Chat. My name's Siobhan Kadir.
Hello from me, my name is Constantina D and we are delighted to be online again with you.
Definitely, it feels like forever, but it's only been a little while, I know. So today we thought we would talk about making the most of your time, whether you're just arriving and about to start your master's course in mid to late September, early October, or you've graduated and you're thinking, I've got a job, but what else can I be doing? So we're looking at both aspects here. And trust me, if you're about to start a course, it will be like 5 seconds and you'll be in the second category. So I guess from my perspective, what I always say to people who are doing their postgrad is don't forget the fun stuff, because the fun stuff is also developing you. So don't forget to join a society and get actively involved in that. What do you think?
I would absolutely agree with you, but I also say make friends because these friendships will stay with you forever. Just recently I spoke to someone and she was delighted showing me photos and memories of her time and good fun with those friends she made at the university. But she also shared their learning together. This is your support network. So when times are tough, a little bit later, when maybe you'll be facing some job rejections or maybe you'll be preparing for interviews, these friends, your support network, will be there for you. So that's my first piece of advice, really. Make friends and be out there and show others that you're there for them as well.
I think that's a brilliant tip, and I think it's an overlooked tip because also they're your networks. And networking is a really key part of this whole process. And even friends that we make in different departments, later on, they're at a company that my company might need to work with, and you've got an instant connection there because of somebody that you've known for years. But I think the fun side and the personal side is something we don't think enough of. We just think about getting that certificate.
Yes, and getting the marks and being in lectures, participating in seminars, writing your assignment. But there's a lot more around your university experience, and especially at a university like ours. I believe student life here is amazing.
Definitely, and I think Warwick's got some of the most student societies of any university. And
over 300?
Yes, something crazy like that. But there's something for everybody. And it might be you want to join a society that is focusing on a very strong careers direction. Or it could be you just want a little bit of fun that isn't linked to your course. And I think that's important, that you have some downtime where it's just, you're not thinking about the assignments, that you're not thinking about your dissertation. Not that you're not going to spend time on that, but it's just a bit of peace and quiet, getting to meet new people, maybe getting involved in activities. And I think that's so very important because when you come to do a job application, you've got an ability to talk about the soft skills then, communicating and working in a team and problem solving.
Understanding how other people operate. We work with so many diverse students and graduates, people who come from different cultural, educational background, with different work experience, and then mixing and talking to these people, you will enhance your understanding of how they operate, of how they might be in the workplace. And then you can start adapting your communication style or start not having these preconceptions about them, but understanding where they come from. And that will already put you at a different stand when you start working with them and preparing.
Definitely, because recruiters do talk about that, wanting that intercultural experience. And there's nothing better than being able to talk about, this was the first time I'd left my home country, and now I'm mixing with people from, Nigeria and Pakistan, China, India, as well as the UK. So I've got those connections. I've got that understanding of how people culturally work in a business setting, because you're doing a lot of business simulations on these courses. So I think it's very important to kind of how you're dealing in that moment with the pressures that go on.
Yeah, and also realizing what role you play in those little teams or seminar groups or simulation exercises, what your role is. It's very important to say, okay, am I the peacemaker? Am I the one who organizes everyone, or am I good at timekeeping? Just find your unique value that you bring to this team, and it might be okay, you're very good at delegating tasks. You can see the bigger picture, and then you can advise who can do what. So look out for those opportunities and try to contribute and to reflect on those. Write them down. That's the other thing. Do write. If you have a instance where you really showcased your amazing team working skills, go back in your room and write down this story, because later you will be using it for your interviews. You will be talking about it. So have journal.
Yeah, journaling is a really good tool, whether you do it on paper, whether you do it online, whether you dictate it, whatever you do. Journaling is a good reflection tool, learning to tell those stories. And I think this is something we will explore in another podcast about storytelling and I don't mean making up things, I mean telling a really strong, authentic story that reflects who you are and what you've become. But that ties into my next point, which is getting your LinkedIn sorted and regularly updating your LinkedIn and, using LinkedIn to kind of talk about, well, I've come to the end of this module. This is what I've learned from it, and putting that on LinkedIn, and even tagging your work colleagues in and building that
or
network.
Your lecturer, or your
lecturers,
professor, or someone whose book has influenced your thinking following this lecture. Do tag these people, because they will start noticing you, and then you'll be growing your network while you're studying or after. Or if you attend one of the careers events happening on campus, post something about it, take a photo if you're allowed to, and then tag people, thank those employers who have attended the event, just start engaging with them actively.
Because you have this amazing story that you can tell as and when it happens, as and when you are learning and developing and growing. And then you go back and you look at it and you can compare the journey you've been on and how far you've come. And as Constantina is saying to you, you're networking and you're doing it without even thinking about it. So I'm conscious, we've talked a lot here about a lot of things, and we haven't talked about those of you that have already left university. I think my tip would be here is to be conscious of being planful and be mindful in the time that you have available to you outside of perhaps work, and start to think about, well, what do I need to get to the next stage? Do I still need to speak to somebody from my careers team? You've got access to them. Don't underestimate that. So don't just let things happen. Plan them. Work out what you need.
And also probably my piece of advice here will be, when you're at work and you have your plan for your next career stage, or your next career path, figure out what experiences you need to be gaining now in order to have this progression later. So even if you don't have opportunity to take responsibility of things, or let's say leading a large teams, search out for those opportunities elsewhere. Many times I think if you go to your line manager and say, I would like to take extra responsibilities, I don't necessarily need to be paid for that, but I want to be involved in extra project, I can spare another hour of my time doing this. These little things do count, and then you become really more experienced, more skillful, and more aware of what's happening around you.
And you're trying out different things. So when you take those opportunities, they open other doors to you. And things that if you hadn't been open to them, you would never know. So anyway, I think we've talked a lot. We do have an email linked to this podcast. Please, if you've got questions, ideas, things you'd like us to explore over season 2, get in touch with us.
We would love to hear from you.
Oh, definitely. But it's been great talking to you again.
Thank you. It's been a long time, but let's hope we'll hear more from us coming. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Bye bye from me.
And bye bye from me.